Okay. So finding a comfortable pose to settle into, whether it's lying on your back or a modified child pose in some way, so that it's an easy, accessible pose for you. Move it around. Knees wide, knees together, more or less of a pillow. What do you need? So that you can soften and allow it to become a restorative pose. Good morning, Paula. I have you on mute. We've started in child pose, but you feel free with pillows under our bellies to like kind of hug and lean on, or maybe you'd rather start lying on your back. Okay. So we're settling in and finding that stillness. And if you really can't relax in child pose, please don't stay there. Find yourself lying on your back. There is no right or wrong. And as you settle into stillness, release into the support beneath you. The support, the security of the earth. The earth that's always there. A constant source of grounding. Bringing us back to our roots and then rooting ourselves. So I don't talk much about the limbs of yoga, but because of the teachers that I have in my life right now, I'm bringing you what I'm embracing at the time. So 8 limbs of yoga. Asana is one of the limbs, the poses. It's what we're most familiar with. It's easy to connect to the body. And then there's the pranayama, the breath. And we use the breath and the body to settle into the stillness. Awareness of the body, awareness of the breath that guides the body. And with this awareness comes the settling of the mind. Bringing us into the stillness and the peace. And it's the reason why I practice. I don't know why you practice. I started out practicing just for that physical part. But what brought me back was the peace that I left with. So aware of the breath. One breath leading to the next. And with the exhales, settling a little bit deeper into the support beneath you. The grounding of the earth. The breath moving onto the back body. Whether you're in child pose or lying on the earth, allowing the breath to fill the back of the heart, to fill the lungs. Rolf Gates calls them the wings of the heart. And I like that image because you can feel the gentle flutter open and the soft flutter to exhale. And as you let go of any efforting and gripping in the body, the breath moves just a little easier. You let go of the efforting, and the thoughts start to settle. As the body gets still, the mind gets still. As the body lets go, the mind lets go. We are learning, still learning, always learning, that with the breath and the connection to the movements of the body, we quiet the mind. We bring everything back into balance. Deep breath in, complete breath out. We use the breath and the awareness that it brings to find an easier way to sustain the posture. So that is our intention, or my intention, to bring to you for this practice. To find a way to use the breath so that you can sustain the poses without an ounce of extra efforting. To find the ease. With your inhale, fill the front and back of the heart space. With your exhale, maybe parting the lips or sighing the breath out. If you're on your hands, your child pose, come up to sit onto your heels. Let the hips go to one side and let the legs extend out in front of you so that you can come to lie on your back. Settling into the earth as you lie on your back, and with your exhale, gather your belly so that you can draw one knee and then the other in for a hug, and then rock from side to side, if that feels good. Maybe you're resting in stillness to start and just kind of scanning your body with your breath and starting to notice what you've brought to your practice this morning. And we'll use the breath to soften, to let go of the efforting and the gripping, and finding stillness there and allowing the feet to float towards the earth, to rest there and root to the earth, tucking one shoulder blade and then the other underneath the heart and sliding them away from the ears, allowing the head to rest on the earth and then gently tucking the chin towards the notch in the collarbone. Aware of the length of the spine resting on the earth, from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head, resting on the earth, from the base of the skull to the sacrum, with all the natural curves in the back of the neck and the lower back, and with a gentle gathering of the belly, we root a little deeper to the earth. The legs become active as we root into the feet. As we root the shoulder blades, we feel all the muscles that support that pose engage. The feet and the shoulders, the rooting of our bridge pose. Softening the jaw, keeping the chin right where it is. With your inhale, press into the feet and maybe lift the hips an inch or two or three. With your exhale, slowly lowering down. Inhaling, lifting the sacrum straight up to the ceiling, opening up the front body in any amount, and exhale, lowering down, using the front body to move mindfully to the earth. Inhaling, back body lifts. Exhaling, front body opens. With your inhale, the back body lifts, the front body opens. With your exhale, front body lowers so that the back body can open. And as you move in and out of this familiar flow, maybe you move just a little deeper. Maybe you're backing out of something that doesn't feel good. As you start to maybe roll up a little higher and puff up the heart towards the chin, softening the jaw and the back of the neck. To find that deep lengthening at this moment, whatever that is in the front body. And then exhaling, starting to open up the back body. To find that flow that's linked with the breath. To use the breath to bring awareness to just one movement. Inhaling, opening the front body, exhaling, lowering down. One movement through each round of breath or half breath. Maybe 2 more rounds like this, moving with the rhythm that your breath creates. And honoring wherever your body is right now, because we haven't done anything to open it. So not forcing, just meeting. And the next time you exhale, come to rest back onto the earth. Inhale there and exhale, draw the right knee in for a hug. Maybe interlacing the fingers in back of the thigh, softening the shoulders towards the earth to let go of all efforting. Maybe you feel a subtle movement of the thigh away from the belly as the inhale expands the belly and the exhale draws it in. So does the thigh. Maybe moving a little deeper as you inhale, softly opening up the elbows a bit, extending the arms, and as you exhale, gently gathering the thigh to the belly as you find some space. Just getting some small, simple movement as you exhale, drawing the knee to the chest, and inhale, soften it away. And where do you feel this? Just noticing, aware of what you feel, not forcing anything. And then finding stillness with the next exhale. And releasing the arms to either side of the body. And inhale, extending the legs straight up to the ceiling and rolling through the ankle as if you were drawing a circle with the big toe. Slow it down. Leg resting in stillness in the hip socket, core body rooting you to the earth and isolating the movement to the ankle, reversing those circles. And then finding stillness there and fanning the toes out and curling them in. And then finding stillness with a flexed foot. Rooting equal weight into both sides of the hips and extending into that heel. Maybe backing the leg away from you to straighten in the back of the knee a little more. Breathing here. And with your next exhale, bending the knee and floating that foot to the earth. Inhale completely. Exhale, draw the left knee in for a hug. Soften through the shoulders, maybe interlacing the fingers in back of the thigh. Aware of the subtle movement first as you settle into the pose. And then moving mindfully with intention and your breath to inhale and open the arms and exhale, or extend the arms, exhale, draw that thigh towards the belly. And maybe this side feels a little different than the other. And we're just noticing, not judging or expecting anything. Just aware of the asymmetry in the body, of the connection of breath to movement. Exhaling, knee to chest, thigh to belly. Inhale, offering it some space to back away. And then coming to stillness with the next exhale as you hug that knee in, releasing the bind, and inhaling, extending the heel to the ceiling, flexing that foot as you root into the hip, and then finding those circles in the ankle. Slowing it down, and then reversing the circles. Connecting breath to movement, inhaling, toes fan away from each other, exhale, they curl in. There's nothing profound in the poses that we're going to do today. They're all very familiar. You have muscle memory. You'll want to go there before I even suggest it. Finding stillness there as you root to the earth and lengthen that heel to the sky. Breathing into the back of the leg as those muscles start to release, to soften, to regain their length. And with your exhale, bend the knee and float that foot to the earth. Walking both feet the width of the mat and finding your reclined windshield wiper, floating both knees over to one side with the exhale. Inhaling up to center and exhaling to the other side. The shoulder blades resting on the earth, open heart space. The twist comes from the waist down, hips lifting, knees floating, gravity acting on your body. And you're just allowing it to allow a softening and opening, a release with the breath. Not pushing or forcing, finding a gentle, graceful flow. So that's the challenge, to move deeper into these familiar poses and flows by bringing the awareness to the breath and the sensation in the body, finding your edge and finding the peace and the settling of the thoughts. With your next inhale, come to stillness with the knees up to the ceiling. Allow one leg and then the other to extend straight out in front of you, and inhale the arms up overhead. As you reach through the fingertips, you soften the arms and the shoulder sockets. As you reach into the heels, you find a lengthening through the back and the side body. The breath is smooth. With your exhale, float the hands to either side of the hips, point the toes. Inhale, arms float out to the side or overhead, whichever feels good for you. Flexing and pointing the feet with the breath and the movement of the arms. Linking breath and movement. Aware of the pause between the breaths, the pause in the flow, never holding the breath. Nice. The next time you exhale and the hands come to the earth, find stillness there. Big inhale. Exhale, settle into the earth. The hips and the shoulders stay right there as you walk both legs over to the right. Inhaling, maybe the left arm alongside your ear, out to the side, or a deep opening through the left side body. Maybe the shoulders shift a little to the right, but they stay on the earth. As if you were standing in a crescent pose, breathing into the ribs on the left side, filling the lung completely. Allowing the muscles to soften. breathing with awareness, allowing the focus to be on the breath, softening with the exhale. With your next inhale, walk the legs back to center, soften that arm alongside. Big inhale there. Exhale, draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. And then floating the feet to the earth and extending them out in front of you. Both shoulders rest. Walking both legs over to the left. And maybe you inhale the right arm out to the side or overhead in that direction. Soften through the shoulders. And find the breath. It wants to move into the right side body. Allow the muscles to soften. Allow the diaphragm to engage. And then release with that exhale. Aware of the rhythm that the breath echoes throughout your body. With your next inhale, walking both legs back to center and floating that right arm back down by your side. And using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Just 3 rounds of breath here. Filling the back body with breath, drawing the knees maybe a little closer to your chest to start rounding through the back body. No pressure from gravity. We can come as far forward as our anatomy allows. Even the forehead can come a little closer to the knees to open up through the back of the neck without closing off the throat. And then with your next exhale, gather the belly. Use the hands to press into the earth, the core muscles to draw you up and over onto all fours to find your tabletop. Taking the time to pad the knees. Finding your alignment so that the shoulders slide away from the ears and you have lots of space from the shoulders to the ears. Softening the chin to the notch in the collarbone and finding that length through the entire back body. And the support that you need from the front body as the belly gently gathers in and up. Lengthening the heart away from the belly button and then hugging the front ribs up towards the back. It's a gentle hug. Find the breath. Even the pads of the fingers soften to the earth. With your exhale, the tailbone tucks towards the heels. With your inhale, the tailbone lifts to the ceiling, just starting with the pelvic tilt. Firing up the root chakra, the very base of the body. And then moving up as you're aware of gathering or hugging the belly button up towards the back body as we fire up the next chakra. Red and orange. Heating up the body. Moving energy. And then moving up a little more as we allow the spine to round a bit higher to the ceiling. Yellow, the space below the ribs. And inhale, tailbone lifts. And we soften that lower belly and find space of the ribs reaching away from the hip points. Couple of rounds like this. Just moving with the first 3 chakras. Not efforting between the shoulders, not efforting the neck. Trying to isolate the movement to just the lower half of the thoracic body. No effort, no tension, easy breath. And then we can move up to the heart space. So with your next inhale, as you soften the belly and lengthen the ribs away from the hips, so the heart reaches away from the belly button, and there's an opening through the front body. And with your exhale, the spine maybe lifts a little higher as you move one vertebra at a time. Finding that gentle flow, that graceful flow of breath linked to the body. And when you're ready, moving a little deeper as the heart reaches between the arms, maybe you lift the gaze, the chin just a little to complete that opening from heart to throat. And exhale the entire back body, starting with the tailbone, rounds to the ceiling, maybe even dropping the crown of the head. So now we are lifting and lengthening with the inhale, opening the throat, aware of the breath, mindful of the space between the eyes, softening there. Exhale, rounding the entire back body, from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head as we move the energy up and down. And if you slow it down and link breath and movement, you'll find that the thoughts get so much quieter. Next time you inhale, find stillness in that fullest expression of a back bend, drawing the shoulder blades to the center of the back, softening them away from the ears, extending the heart away from the belly button. And with your next exhale, find a neutral spine. Allow the hips to extend back towards the heels. Maybe knees together, child pose. Maybe walking the knees wide and bringing the big toes together. For wide knee, child's pose. Just 3 rounds of breath. So not necessary to take the pillows, but if it's easily accessible to you, please find them. Deep inhales, releasing exhales. We started with this pose maybe. How does it feel to you now? Even if you only attempted it for a couple of rounds of breath and changed, has there been a shift yet? Not judging, not expecting, but just noticing. Maybe it's a shift in the thoughts. A shift in the moving towards more peaceful pose of awareness of the gripping intention. And with your next inhale, coming back up onto all fours, finding your foundation and committing to it. And with your inhale, extending that right leg straight back, curling the toes under, reaching into the heel. Active leg lifts up towards the ceiling. Keeping the left hip crease drawing back and in. Equal weight in both hands to start. Find the breath. Maybe this is sustainable. Maybe you're bringing the toes back to the earth today. Maybe this is sustainable to have a leg lifted and you're experimenting with inhaling the opposite arm. Maybe you're bringing that hand back down. Your practice, your body, what feels good? When is the breath most easeful? When do you find the most peace throughout the body? Maybe you're staying right here. Maybe you're softening the arm or the knee down. Maybe you're exhaling, drawing the knee and the elbow together, and inhaling, finding the fullest expression of the pose. Maybe you're exhaling knee to belly or thigh to belly and inhaling, extending that with the arm on the floor. Can you find a flow that works for you today? Bringing awareness to the breath, linking it to the movement of the body. Inhaling and exhaling. And then coming to stillness in the fullest expression of the pose with the leg extended, maybe the arm also. One more time, soften there. Maybe that means you can lift higher. Exhale, float it down. Take some hip circles here or whatever you need to do to let that side go. And finding your tabletop again and the foundation to support it. And letting go of any expectation for this side. Being curious. And coming into the pose like a beginner, as if it were the first time, to inhale and extend the left leg straight in back of you, reaching into that heel. And then firing up the muscles in the leg to actively lift it towards the ceiling, working against gravity. Soften the back of the neck, find the breath. Maybe you're staying right here, or maybe you're experimenting with inhaling the opposite arm alongside your ear, softening the arm in the shoulder socket. No effort, just the ease of the breath, making the pose easeful. Maybe you're backing out of this by softening the arm towards the earth, modifying for your body today. Maybe with the next exhale, you're drawing the knee and the elbow together. Maybe just the knee comes towards the belly. And inhale, coming back into the pose. Flowing in and out with your breath in a way that feels easeful for you today. What do you need? Knowing that there's always the option of resting in stillness, aware of the breath, and maybe just visualizing the pose. Because we know that even that makes a connection in the brain, and the brain to the muscles. Breathing in, breathing out. I know that's why I get tired watching a tennis match. I feel like I'm doing it myself, right? Without ever having to do the exercise. Find the breath. Maybe finding stillness in the fullest expression of the pose, extending through that leg, reaching through the fingertips without effort. One more round of breath and then floating back down. Coming to stand up on your knees, hips and shoulders over the knees. And rolling through those shoulders, big circles up to the ears, floating them down the back. What do you notice? And then reversing the shoulders for a few times, a few rounds. And then inhaling shoulders to ears, exhale, softening them down the back. Inhale, they float up. Exhale, they soften down. And then taking a shoulder loop so they float to the ears. They slide or hug together and then settle down towards the waist. And we keep that opening across the collarbone. Inhaling, extending the arms out in T, breathing into that space. How are your knees? Do you need to pad them? You can always sit on the heels. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Even here, we are rooted to the earth through the tops of the feet and the shins and the knees, and we lengthen up. Nice, breathing into that space. Exhale, right arm under left. Give yourself a hug. Breathe into that space between the shoulder blades. Find the ribs expanding. Breathing into the wings of the heart. And with your inhale, extend through the fingertips. Exhale, left arm under right. You land wherever you land, honoring your anatomy, your body, softening with the exhales, and breathing into the back body. Nice. And inhaling, opening up one more time, and exhaling, coming down to your tabletop. Walk the hands forward, one hand print, spreading the fingers nice and wide. We're preparing for downward dog. Modifying or not, many ways we can come into this lengthening of the back body. So we're curling the toes under, perhaps, as if you could slide the top of the mat away from you. The palms of the hands root to the earth, the arms become active, and the heart slides back as the hip creases reach back. Heart towards thighs, hip creases reach back. Maybe you're staying right here in this extension. Maybe with your exhale, as you gather the belly, you're lifting the knees. Can you pause there? And then with your inhale, reach the hip creases up and back as you straighten through the knees, coming into your expression of downward facing dog. Maybe you have to adjust your foundation, walk the feet a little wider. Maybe you are bicycling out or walking your dog, bicycling out the knees, not settling into stillness, just this, but deeply bending one knee, straightening the other, and the entire side body opens. And then deeply bending the opposite knee, breathing into that side body. Right arm extends, right leg straightens, and then reversing. Slow it down, move with the breath. Soften the jaw and the neck. Should be able to shake your head yes or no. The crown of the head floating or becoming heavy towards the earth. Maybe your knees are on the floor and you're just feeling that extension of tailbone reaching up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling with straight arms. Find stillness there. Breathe in your expression of dog. Downward dog. Nice. Exhale, the knees float to the earth. We're going to step forward. Maybe you have blocks and you like to use them so you have more space to step your foot forward. So we're exhaling, drawing a knee to the belly, and stepping that foot forward and helping it all the way forward till it's in between the hands. And we're curling the toes under of that leg that's extended in back of you so that we can reach into the heel and the knee lifts off the floor. Just a pause in a lunge and exhale, gather the belly and step that foot forward into a forward fold, half forward fold, so that you're inhaling and lengthening parallel to the earth. Shoulder blades slide to the center of the back. Soften the chin to the notch in the collarbone. One straight line from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Belly's gently gathered. Knees are bent. We need to release those hamstrings so we can lengthen through the back body. Breathing in, breathing out. Find that foundation through the soles of the feet. Exhale, root down, gather the belly. Inhale, lift the heart, extend the arms. Float into your Tadasana, your mountain pose. So adjusting the feet so they're hips distance at the top of your mat. And then finding the foundation through the circumference of the heels. And then lengthening from there. What do you feel? What do you notice? Safe, secure, strong foundation, enabling you to root to the earth, and then lengthen the crown of the head to the vast sky. To breathe into the wings of the heart with ease. Soft shoulders, soft jaw. From the waist up, floating. From the waist down, rooted. Maybe aware of the subtle movement of the body because of the breath, because of our adjusting to gravity, finding our center, finding our center. Literally, figuratively, using the breath. Allowing the weight to shift into the right leg so that you can step or slide the left foot back to a comfortable distance so that the left heel is rooted to the earth. Maybe walking that right foot out a little wider. That's the front foot, right? Yes. A little wider so that you feel a little safer in this foundation of Warrior One. With your inhale, floating the arms up into Goddess. With your exhale, let the hips settle between the legs, bending into that right knee. Nice. With your inhale, straightening the knee, extending the fingertips to the ceiling. With your exhale, floating into your warrior, bending into the knee. Moving in and out to inhale, find length. Exhale, fullest expression right now, this moment. Maybe it gets deeper with each moment. Trying to get more graceful as you link breath to body, to find that flow and the ease of the pose, in and out. What do you feel? What do you notice? Keeping that connection, that foundation of the strong legs, of the soles of the feet rooted to the earth, of the core lifting and lengthening you. The hips maybe facing forward as you draw that bent knee, hip crease back. As you settle into stillness with your next exhale, finding your warrior, finding the breath to move peacefully through the body. Breathing into that space. That you've created. Strong in your warrior. Peaceful in your breath. With your exhale, float the arms down as the belly gathers. You can step that left foot forward. Shake it out, let it go. Land in your Tadasana, root into your mountain pose. 2 rounds of breath here. Allowing the weight to shift into or over the left leg so that you can step, slide, walk that right foot back. So that the right heel roots to the earth and that leg becomes strong. So that the feet are wide enough so you feel steady. Inhaling the arms up into Goddess. Exhale, root into the foundation. Inhale, lengthen the ribs out of the hips. Exhale, settle those hips straight down to bending into the left knee. Breathing in, breathing out. With your next inhale, the knee straightens without locking it. The fingertips reach to the ceiling. Exhale, open across the collarbone, bend into the elbows and knee. Moving in and out with your breath. Breath linked to graceful, easeful movement. Aware of any efforting, letting it go. Your practice, your body. What are you working on? So many places to go with this. Connecting to the breath, moving deeper to the pose, aware of the foundation that supports us, enables us to go deeper. Exhale, soften into the stillness. Move deeper with the breath. Exhale, float the arms down, step that back foot forward. Find your Tadasana. Maybe step the feet a little bit wider and take some hip circles. Let that go. What do you need to do to let go of that? And then step into your Tadasana. Inhale, allow the fingertips reach towards the earth. Find the breath. Aware of any sensation in the body without labeling it. Just bringing awareness to the breath, to the body. With your inhale, allow the arms to float out, around, and up. Slow, mindful, with intention. With your exhale, hinge forward from the hips as you bend from the knees, parallel to the earth. Inhale, lengthen there. Exhale, maybe bring the hip creases back a little more. Root into the feet. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, bring it to the heart center. Inhale, out, around, and up. Exhale, maybe swan dive forward. Knees bend, hip creases reach back, long and back of the neck. Exhale, maybe you're able to straighten the knees a little bit. Breathing into the belly of the back of the thighs, not the joint of the knees. Find the breath. Don't collapse the back body. Use the front body to support. Shoulder blades are together and away from the ears. Inhale there. Exhale, hinge a little closer to the earth. Still with a straight spine. Root into the feet with your next inhale. Arms float out, around, and up. Exhale, bring it to the heart center. 2 more rounds like this, half breaths. Inhale, lengthening towards the sky without effort. Exhale, folding to the earth, bowing to the light. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, moving deeper. Inhale, all the way up to stand. Exhale, bringing it to the heart center. 1 more time. Arms extend, floating up. Exhale, reaching through the crown of the head as we reach through the hip creases. Lengthening from the bottoms of the feet all the way up the back body. Breath is moving. Rooting into the feet with the exhale, don't rush it. Inhale, enjoy the journey up. Move with the breath. Exhale, bring it to the heart center. Allow the hands to come to rest on the upper chest, palms together or one hand on top of the other. Connecting with the breath. Focusing on the breath in the body. Breathing into the palm of your hands. Breathing into the side ribs. As if you could breathe into the space below the ribs in alignment with the belly button. And you allow the entire thoracic body to soften and expand with the inhale. Filling the very bottom of the lungs. Filling the back of the lungs. Finding the rhythm of your breath. Softly blinking open the eyes if you've closed them, allowing the hands to float to the hips. Allowing the weight to shift into the left leg to come onto the toes of the right. And then root into that standing leg, grow taller. Soften through the shoulders and the back of the neck. And maybe you're staying right there. Maybe you're rotating that right leg in the hip socket, allowing that knee to float out. Active back thigh, outer thigh, draws that knee out. You feel the connection all the way deep into the hip socket. Rooting into that strong standing leg without locking the knee. Maybe you're staying right here. Breathing into the heart space. Light from the waist up. Connected to the earth through the feet. Maybe with your inhale, you're able to lift the toes, and with your exhale, you tap them down. Maybe you're able to bring the foot to the ankle or the calf. Find the work of foot pressing into leg, leg pressing into foot, so that you can keep that length and that steady tree pose. Coming out of it only to come right back in. No judgment, no expectation. Maybe with your inhale, the hands float to the heart center and you have a soft gazing point that helps with the balance. Knowing that if you're on a sticky mat or a carpet, it's more challenging because the foot has more space to rock to and fro, right? But a firm ground gives you a firm foundation. Find the breath, maybe inhaling, the arms extend out. Both legs working. Core to lengthen you, breath smooth. Where is an easeful pose for you? Find the breath. Find the peace. Inhale, that knee floats forward. Maybe the leg extends out in front of you and you float it softly to the earth and shake it out and let it go. Sigh the breath out. Come back to your Tadasana. No expectation, no judgment. This side is going to be different. So moving with curiosity, using the breath to guide you, allowing the weight to shift it over the right leg, come onto the toes of the left, drawing that hip in and up as you root down, muscles that wrap around that standing leg, hug to the bone. Rotating the left leg in the hip socket, allowing the knee to float out to the side. And then keeping that leg actively drawing to the rim and back of you. Finding the heel resting against the ankle, the toes on the earth, softening there. Maybe with your inhale, the toes lift, and with your exhale, they tap down. Maybe you can bring that foot up and actively work the standing leg to press into the foot into the standing leg, and lengthen from there. Finding the breath, maybe inhaling the hands to the heart space. Using falling out of the pose to come back into it. No judgment. Just breath and body. Each day is different. Each side is different. Maybe growing your limbs as you reach through the fingertips, growing your tree. Find what works for you. The breath sustains the pose. Easy breath in, easy breath out. With your inhale, that knee floats forward. Maybe it extends straight out in front of you, and you softly place it on the earth. Float the arms down. Shake it out. Let it go. Walk the feet. Stand to the long side of your mat so that you can walk the feet nice and wide, with the edges of the feet parallel to the edges of the mat. Maybe the hands float to the hips. The shoulders slide down the back. Breathing into that space below the collarbone. With your exhale, the belly lifts in and up. Inhaling there and exhaling, soften the knees, hinge forward from the hip creases just till you come parallel to the earth, or when you feel a tug in the inner thighs or the back of the thighs. If you feel a tug in the lower back, you've gone too far. Bring the torso up away from the earth. Breathing here. With your inhale, soften. With your exhale, root down, and inhale, hinge up to stand slowly with the breath. With your exhale, come forward towards the earth. Root down, inhale up. Strong, safe foundation. The legs stay constant. Hinging from the hips, aware of the core moving you, the breath guiding you. Keeping that length of heart reaching away from the belly, of sternum extending away from the hips. Not collapsing the front body with that exhale, but softening through the back of the neck. So not efforting in the back of the neck, but keeping a long spine. Next time you exhale, find stillness there. Straightening that left leg to bend into the right knee. Inhale, find the center. Exhale, bend left knee, straighten right. Moving side to side to get into those inner thigh muscles. Maybe you're coming up away from the earth here, and that feels better for you. You're not staying parallel with the upper body, but the shoulders stay together on the back. The front body stays long, the belly gathered. As you root the feet to the earth and move from side to side. Right? Nice. And then coming to stillness, exhale there and inhale, hinge all the way up to stand. Just check the time. Let's see. Let's heel to walk the feet together and step to the top of the mat. Finding your Tadasana, connecting to the earth. And with your inhale, the arms float out around and up. And with your exhale, we swan dive forward. With your inhale, we lengthen the heart away from the belly. With your exhale, we hinge a little deeper maybe. With your inhale, we float up. Find the breath, link it to the movement, the body. Inhaling, extending, lengthening. Exhaling, hinging forward. Inhale, deepening this forward fold. Exhale, rooting to the earth. Inhale, all the way up to stand. Exhale, heart center. Last time, and we'll come to the earth. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, floating forward. Inhale there. Exhale, deeper. Find the breath. With your next exhale, gather the belly, deeply bend the knees till the hands can come to a block, the floor, your bed, a piece of furniture, so that you can step one knee back and then the other. Take a couple of rounds of cat and cow here if that feels good for you. Wag your tail. What do you need to do to let go of any efforting that might be sitting in your body? And then find stillness there. Walk the knees the width of the mat. Let the big toes come to touch. Exhale the hip creases in the direction of the heels. They don't have to touch. Inhale, lengthen the heart away from the belly. And exhale, fold forward, keeping that length in the front body. Forehead makes contact with something, stacked hands, a block, a blanket, a pillow. Finding your wide-kneed child's pose. Softening with the exhale, shoulders drape towards the earth. The back body finds its length. So that the breath can move into that space. With your exhale, sigh out, release any remaining gripping or tension you might be aware of. With your inhale, breathe into the wings of the heart. The breath is always here. The breath that brings us back, that grounds us in our bodies. By connecting with the breath and the body, bringing awareness to that connection, we tap into the peace. The peace of this moment. It's always there for us. With your exhale, gather the belly. With your inhale, sit up onto the heels. Let the hips come to one side and the heels to the other. Walk yourself to the top of your mat. Feet are hips distance, hands coming back of the thighs. We find the sitting bones, soften the shoulders, and inhale, lengthen the crown of the head towards the ceiling. As we exhale, draw the chest towards the thighs. Strong core, zipped up, straight up from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head. And then we keep that work in the core and extend the arms so that we're resting on the top of the sacrum. And that's when the real core work starts. As we lift the heart towards the ceiling, not because we're taking a back bend, but we're not allowing the lower back to dump. We're keeping that work that length. Maybe the hands stay on the back of the thighs, maybe they open towards the ceiling, and this is a great challenge for you. And you find the breath, and it's smooth and even and easeful. And maybe you come back a little further. How's the breath? Soft shoulders, soft jaw. Maybe you're able to lift the feet today and extend through them. Maybe not. Maybe they float back down to the earth. Maybe you're able to carve the belly out with the exhale and slowly lower the back one vertebra at a time. Maybe you come to the elbows or roll over to your side and find and allow your body to rest on the earth. Use the exhale to land. Inhale to fill the front and back of the heart space. The exhale to soften. With your next exhale, gather the belly and draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. Maybe getting some movement Rocking on the back, the hips. What do you notice? What do you feel? Maybe you'd like to take the palms on the knees and make some circles, taking the knees wide away from you and together and towards you, circling the legs and the hip sockets. Maybe you like happy baby and that feels good for you. So you come to stillness, root into the hips, draw the knees to the elbows and allow the heels of the feet to float to the ceiling, clasping in back of the thighs. Maybe rocking, maybe staying in stillness. So many options here. What is your body asking for? Does it need one more flow to release and soften? These are just suggestions. And coming to stillness and allowing the feet to float to the earth if they've lifted, bent knees, walk the feet the width of the mat. And exhale both knees over to one side. Inhale, they float towards the ceiling, and exhale to the other. Finding that reclining windshield wiper one more time. Allowing for a flow, a release. Soften through the shoulders. Nice. The next time the knees float up to center, find stillness and walk the feet back together again. Exhale, both knees up over the hip as if you were sitting in a chair. Shoulder blades flat on the earth beneath the heart and away from the ears. Palms towards the floor on either side of the hips. Feet are flexed, legs are active. Not that they're touching, but you feel the legs, the inner thighs hugging as if the knees were coming together. And the pit of the belly gathers in and up and the front ribs hug to the earth. There's a natural curve in the lower back and the breath is easy. It's peaceful in the body. Maybe this is enough for you with the lower legs parallel to the earth, a right angle at the hip creases, and you're staying here. Maybe with your exhale, the right foot taps down, and with your inhale, it comes back up. And with your exhale, the left foot taps down, and with your inhale, the knee comes back over the hip, going from side to side. And if the breath is still smooth and even, and you've kept the curve in the lower back and the softness in the jaw, maybe you'd like to tap down both feet at the same time and inhale them up. The knees move away from you, the toes tap down, the feet come up and the knees come back over the hips. Slow it down to be a slow, mindful movement with intention. Whatever way you're practicing, doesn't matter. Knowing when to challenge and when to back out, to find your edge and not go any further than that. And the next time one foot or both feet come to the earth, find stillness there, let both feet rest. Walk them to the width of the mat and allow the knees to fall together. So soles of the feet on the mat, knees together, breath filling the back body, extending all the way down into the lower back. And there's a softening and a release. And you're aware of the rhythm of the breath in your body. Use the exhales to let go. Walking both feet underneath the knees. And extending the left leg straight out onto the earth. Exhale, draw the right knee in for a hug without forcing, soften through the shoulders. Extend the right arm out onto the earth. in alignment with the collarbone, and use the left hand to exhale and draw the right knee over into a twist. And wherever you land, that's where you're meant to be. And then if this doesn't feel good, come into a twist that does feel good for you, so that you can soften with the exhales and breathe into the right side body with the inhales to lengthen maybe that right hip away from the armpit, to soften that right leg towards the earth, letting go of any efforting in the back body, restoring the body with the breath. Maybe gazing to the fingertips opposite the knees. 2 more rounds of breath. And with your inhale, gazing up to the ceiling. With your exhale, that knee comes back up and then extends out onto the floor. Exhaling the left knee in for a hug. Reaching the left arm to extend out in T. Soften there, using the right hand to draw that left knee over into a twist. And you're not forcing, you're just guiding and allowing that leg to land, the hips to land wherever. And then breathing into the left side body, lengthening the left hip away from the armpit, taking your pose into its fullest expression for you today, right now, in this moment on this side. And using the exhales to let go of the effort. Letting the breath guide you. Maybe gazing to the fingertips opposite the knee. And with your next inhale, the gaze comes to the ceiling, and with your exhale, that knee draws in, up and in for another hug, and then extends out onto the earth in front of you. Maybe exhaling, both knees draw in for a hug, and you give it one final rock. And maybe there's a pose you'd like to take, one more pose to complete your practice. Maybe you'd like to stay in legs up the wall for Shavasana. If you have a bed or a wall nearby or a chair, you can always rest the legs against or on any one of those props. Maybe you're going to come into Shavasana with a pillow under your knees. Maybe you need a blanket. As we prepare for Shavasana and settle into stillness, when you're ready, you can maybe be in final pose, right? Aware of your breath. Settling into your rhythm. Letting go of all control, the breath moves on its own. We're just bringing awareness to that breath. Knowing that with the awareness comes a peace as we balance out the mind, the body, and the spirit. By bringing awareness to the breath, we allow the thoughts to settle, the mind to become still and peaceful. With the support, the security of the earth beneath us, we settle. As if the earth could rise up into our natural curves and hold us there. And with the exhales, we allow the body to become heavy. We allow the space between the eyes to soften. The eyes to rest heavy into the back of the head. The forehead to melt towards the earth, and all the muscles surrounding the eyes to soften and release. Breathing in and breathing out. We soften the jaw, allowing the tongue to slip away from the roof of the mouth and the lips to softly move. And all the muscles in the face melt towards the earth. Even the scalp softens. Following the breath. Right there for the start of the breath in. Right there for the last of the breath out. One breath following the next with a gentle pause between the breaths. And with this focus comes the peace and the stillness, the awareness and the calm. We're aware as the body becomes still that the mind becomes still. As the body lets go, so the mind lets go. The breath and the body is enough. And it's always here. To rest in the present moment, to remember who we are. Coming back to the body and the breath at this moment. Just this breath. Body resting in stillness. The breath moving in an ancient rhythm. We're choosing this experience. We choose this felt experience of breathing, of bringing awareness to the body. We choose to feel the body. We choose to feel the breath moving in the body. And maybe there's a wisdom in this. Maybe there's a wisdom of that choice to feel into the body and the breath. There's an opportunity to notice, to turn towards our felt experience. To turn towards what it feels like to breathe in and what it feels like to breathe out. Is there a wisdom? And is it useful? And is it kind? It's a habit of the mind and the body to turn to the past or to look towards the future. By bringing the awareness to the body and the breath in the body, you can choose to become aware of the felt experience right now, in this moment. Our own experience. To feel the nature of body and breath and our awareness of that felt experience. Yoga gives us the tools. We remember who we are using the body and the breath and the power of choice. We choose yoga and the connection of the body and the breath to turn towards the felt experience of us. Just this breath. And I'll be here to guide you out. Slowly becoming aware of the earth beneath you and the space surrounding you. Gently deepening your inhales and exhales. Slowly bringing your body back from stillness with small, gentle movements. Softly rubbing the thumb against the fingertips, maybe wiggling the toes, maybe slowly turning your head from side to side. Maybe with a deep awakening inhale, extending through the fingertips. And then floating the arms to a comfortable position as you bend one knee and then the other to step the feet softly onto the earth. Transitioning here. Feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. And then using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Allowing the breath to fill the heart space. Front and back of the heart. Maybe scanning your body with your breath and just noticing what your practice has given to you today. Knowing that you can return to this place of peace just by bringing awareness to the breath. Resisting the urge to open up your eyes if that suits you, keep them softly closed, press the earth away, and draw yourself up into a comfortable, easy seated position, whatever that is for you. And with your inhale, maybe the arms extend one more time. And with your exhale, the palms float together and they rest at the heart center. Closing with an ancient wish that's handed down from teacher to teacher. And my teacher has given it to me, with the intention that our practice be continuous, that our hearts be steady, that our efforts be of benefit to all beings, and that all beings may be safe, that they be healthy, that all beings be happy, that they find their freedom, and may all beings know peace and walk through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a good day. Let's see. Why can't I unmute? Oh, ask to unmute.
Thank you, Marie.
You're
Marie, I
welcome.
wonder, thank you. This is Joan. I wonder if you might have an extra moment. I have a few questions.
Sure, I'm here. I'm unmuting everyone individually. I don't know why it's not unmuting everybody.
I think it might be better if people just unmute themselves.
Oh, okay, maybe that'll work.
Bye, Marie. Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Marie.
You're
Have a
welcome.
nice
Thanks, Marie. Bye.
Enjoy your
Thank
weekend.
you.
Enjoy the
Thanks,
rest of your
Marie.
day.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Enjoy your
Bye.
See you Wednesday.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, Sue.
If you get on the
Bye,
PC,
Megan.
add me.
Who just said that? Sorry.
Sue. Hi.
Hi.
Sue Dooley. Could you?
Oh, Sue, sure. I thought I put you on the email this time.
No,
I forwarded it to you.
Ann keeps sending it to me.
I know I forwarded it to you because I purposely went into it, and even though you weren't in the group, I sent it. I'm gonna go back and look again. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Wonderful, wonderful class. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Paula, are you still there? He's not talking. Okay. Joan, what can I do for you?
Okay, I had a little trouble following some of the poses today.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't usually model when I'm doing this because of the camera view, and then I adjust my thing, and so I kind of get lost in the teaching, and then I realized, oh, Joan might not be familiar, and I did stand up and do it. I'm sorry if it frustrated you. I hope that you can just breathe and be okay with whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I tried to modify, but one of the challenges for me is that I don't know what all the terms mean.
Exactly.
So I don't know what pose to take when I hear a term.
Right.
So maybe if you could give me a little bit of description.
Sure. So here's the I usually, I mean, if you can, I know it's really hard, and just we have to try find a way to be okay with being a beginner, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, it's really hard when you don't even have a model to look at. You know, normally we're in a studio and you can at least look at the person around you, even if the teacher isn't modeling. I really like to teach without modeling if I can. My intention is most of these, many of them have been with me for years. And so to connect with the spoken word and your mind, and oh, she said left hand here, right knee here. And that's what the goal is, right?
Yeah, sometimes when I saw you in a different position than me, I thought, oh, I should be like you. So that confused me.
No. So that's just me not modeling. Yeah.
Okay. So the next, yes, sorry.
That's okay.
Well, I wanted to ask you, I believe you take a free will donation?
Yeah.
So how would I do?
Well, what I was doing is asking people to donate to Long Island Cares or any other church or food pantry that you know of, or make a food donation, or you can save it up. Someone suggested that they really wanted me to take the donations and let me donate it. I have Venmo if you'd rather do something like that. You can do that. You can save it up, and the next time you see me, give one big donation. I don't really, whatever makes you
Okay.
feel comfortable. I don't
Okay.
I don't need the money. That's not why I'm doing it right now. I'm lucky that I don't have a financial issue, that
Okay.
almost everyone in my family's working. I only have to help out one brother. And so that's great. Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, I do think of some place that, are you familiar with the Community Growth Center?
No, I don't think I know that. Where is that?
Well, they are presently running out of Port Jeff Station.
Okay.
And basically, it's community mental health center, but it's a wellness. It's the idea. I'm going into low power, so I think I lost you. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
It's they offer a lot of, they actually offer yoga, but not now. They offer a lot of meal assistance to people.
Cool.
And they're struggling, of course, because of the virus, but they do group meditations and group discussions, and they offer a lot of really nice services to I think people that might not otherwise get those services. So that might be one place. And a friend of mine told me about a food bank that I did make a donation to. I'm not in a position to make a huge amount, but
Sure.
but if everyone does a little bit, you've
That's
got a
right.
lot.
That's
So
right.
I absolutely will be happy to do that, and
Great.
I would feel good to know that I'm getting something and
Yeah.
I'm giving something.
Pay it
So
forward. That's all. Well, know
pay it
that,
forward.
yeah, and know that, by donation, people pay me for a class anywhere from $5 to $10. It's not a huge amount that you're donating to the food pantry, but if you keep track, maybe you give one $25 donation or whatever
Well,
it is.
that's what I was thinking, to rather than keep doing 5, 5, 5,
Sure.
to keep a little track and do it a
Right.
little bit larger, and that would make me feel good too,
Right.
So
So,
thank you so much. I really do, despite my challenges, I'm really getting a lot out of it.
right.
I have been doing some yoga at a gym, and it was good for me. And it was the first, I've done yoga off and on through the years. And recently it was like the first time I didn't feel like I was injuring myself.
Good.
And so I've come back, because you're offering this on Zoom is just so great, because I really do feel that the yoga is good for my body, which has a lot of ailments, and good for my spirit, my whole spirit.
Yes. Well,
So it's a great way to start the day, because I start my day late, so this is a great way. So I won't
perfect.
keep you any longer, Marie. Thank you so much for doing this.
And next time you join, I'll try and be a little more mindful about my modeling. Okay.
Well, I would, just for a little while, it would be.
Yeah,
I'd really
sure.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay,
Have a
great
good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.